Hello, welcome. This is Bulldog Bulldog Games, and today we are carrying on with our farming system. This is episode 2. This episode is more for bugs and making the system function correctly. I will show you a preview of what we're going to build in this tutorial and an add-on. So at the start of this at the start of this series, we created where you can place a tree down anywhere in the map. Excuse me. They will grow up, and they will grow up into fully grown trees set over timers. So that is in the last video if you want to watch that. You can now literally click on the tree and the tree will disappear, and also it spawns a log. Okay, it spawns a log a little bit funny, and it also spawns a stump as well, like you've cut it down. Now let me just quickly cut these two down and I will show you what else we have implemented into this little section. So if you put another tree down or a sapling, if you go into this box and try and cut this tree down, it will say that the tree is still growing. Okay, if you come out and the tree is still growing, okay, it won't let you on any stage. The tree is still growing, and then once the tree is fully grown, I think that's fully grown, it will let you cut down and it will spawn them items. So that's what we're going to build today. So let me get myself sorted out and I will pop back. So in the last tutorial there was a couple of things that we needed to sort out. So the first thing was, if you go into the farming folder and click on ground, a couple of people had this issue about this actor class. If this actor class is empty, it says none, then it won't spawn a thing. Okay, so if that says none and we go to try and spawn, it will just literally spawn the line trace, it won't spawn the tree. The specific for that is at the moment this needs to be a master item. The reason for that, the reason why we have to put that as a master item is we have not yet got the basics for the setup. So we have not set up the switch between items to tell what item to spawn. So at this particular moment we're just using the master seed as the actor. So yeah, so if you are having an issue with things getting spawned, check your actor class and make sure that that is set to master seed or whatever your main item that you're using is called. Okay, another thing as well is that on the plant tree, which is on the same ground, plant tree, we do not have a start pin. So if we press play, if you see that line trace on the screen now, it's coming from the start location. Okay, so it's pulling from the start location. So this is no good, because if we place a tree there's not really much of a line trace because that's where it's come from. But if we went right over the other side of a so-called map and tried to place the tree, it's going to put a line trace all the way along the map. So simple fix, we're just going to pull out of the actor. Let me make that a bit smaller. We're going to pull out the actor location and pop that into the start. Okay, so now when we hit play, it come from the actual player. Okay, and it will spawn in that sort of direction. Right, so now them things are done. Also, the next thing we need to do is add collisions, because on these trees there's no collisions, you can walk straight through them. Now the sapling, I'm not too worried about walking through the sapling, but when they get a little bit bigger, you shouldn't be able to walk through a tree like that, you know. You shouldn't be able to do that, and same with the final. So we're gonna do we're gonna put a little mesh in there to stop us from doing that. So if we go to blueprints, farming, meshes, and find our tree, so we've got obviously the sapling I'm not worried about, but the first stage we want to add a collision to. So you're gonna get this thing, and all we're gonna want to do is collision and then add a box collision. Okay, now wherever this is placed it, I don't know, there it is above there. Okay, so we're gonna bring it down and squeeze it on the tree. Now obviously you don't want this too big, because if you want to cut the tree down, you've got to be able to get to it. What's the snap about, eh? Like I need it that big, mother. Ah, give it a snap. Okay, there we go. So bring this nice and tight to here. We should put this on like 1. Okay, like that for example. And with it in. Okay, so we can save that, and you could do that for every single tree. So second tree, collision, add box. You can add whatever box you want, but I'm just going to add a box collision for now. Make this a lot smaller. Whoa, not that small. Just about the size of the trunk, I would say. More like a box. We've got coming one more. There we go. Right, so that's more like a box, just so we can't walk in through the trunk and stuff like that. And slot him in there and bring him up. How long is this? This does not need to be this tall, because obviously we can only be so high. So we're literally just going to spawn it when we need to spawn it. So we're going to save that. And then on the final tree, wherever the final tree stage is, which is there, which looks like that one's done, but it's not. That's first stage, second stage, final stage. There we go. Oh, don't want to add a sphere collision. We want to add a box collision, so let's just make this rather thin. And then bring it like that. Okay, I'm only doing this. I'm only doing this very rushed. But to be honest, people can walk in between trees and stuff like that, you know. So if there was 2 trees together, you should be able to walk through them. So you've got to bear that in mind when you're making your collision boxes for that. Okay, so that's a nice little thing. Right, so save. Right, so there's another bug. So if we plant a tree, if you watch where that tree is sitting, as soon as it grows, it moves over. See it moving over towards your right. It moves towards the right. Okay, it shouldn't be doing that. It's because the meshes are bigger. But like, as you can tell, look, we've got a little mesh around it now, so we can't walk through this tree. But if there was 2 trees together, like right next to each other, literally, say, let's try and spawn one in there. Yeah, that'll do. Don't know if we're going to fit through that, actually. That might be a bit tight when that grows up. But we should be able to walk into there. There's a little box collision through there. Yeah, we can't walk through that one. But yeah, if you get the gist, put your collisions where you want the collisions done. Okay? Right, so I've got a little notepad here. So add collision box to static mesh in master 1. Okay, so let's close these down. And we're going to go to farming, and we want to find master seed. So add a what? Add a collision box. Okay, so it wants me to add a collision box there. Oh no, add collision box to static mesh in master 1. Okay, well, I don't really want a collision box on that, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so farming interface on player as well as restarting and going up again. Right, now, there's also another issue, that when you click on this and then you click on it again, it will restart. It will restart the tree growth. It only does it sometimes, but the reason why it's doing it is because, see, like that. The reason why it's doing it is because heart third person character, so content, blueprints, third person character, the class is used in the farming interface. The master seed is using the farming interface, and the ground seed is using the farming interface. Now, when we go to plant a tree, on the event graph, I think. No, it's not. It's actually in master seed, I believe. Yeah. So what we're doing, we're checking if we can plant this master seed. Yeah, it has to be overlapped with an actor that has this interface implemented. The problem is that the third person has the farming interface implemented, and the ground has the farming interface. Fucking hell, that's a tongue twister. Farming interface implemented. So what we have to do, we have to create another one, and literally take the third person out of the equation. Okay, so it stops doing that. So it's fairly easy. You just literally come to here, right click, blueprint interface, and we're going to call this planting interface. Okay, so planting interface, good. Now on the master seed, we're pulling, no, on the ground in plant tree, we're going to be pulling information from here to here. So what did I do on this one? Hang on a minute. So that has just the farming implemented. Yeah. So on the master seed, we need to now class settings and add planting interface. Okay. So anytime the ground and the master item talk to each other, you do it through this interface. Okay, and you don't want the third person character to be involved. So now all we need to do is change on master seed event graph, change this to planting interface. Okay, so now that's not going to interact with a third person character because the third person character hasn't got the planting interface implemented. So it doesn't matter how many times you click within that box now, that's not going to implement. Okay, so yeah, so fixed add interface called planting interface. Yeah, on master seed add fully grown. Okay, so let me just get this. Right, so on the master seed, we actually need to create another function. Let me have a look at this a minute. Right, so destroy a tree. We need to do that as an interface on destroy a tree, which is made up. Hang on a minute. Right. So if you open up your farming interface, you need to duplicate this function. Okay, so just right click, copy, right click, paste function. Okay, and this one is going to be called destroy tree. Oh. I hope I made that clear to you with the bugs. If you do get any issues, then please let me know and I will try and resolve them. We want to keep the player to BP third person and the success to the boolean. Okay, so this needs to have a return node as a, yeah, so it returns it as a thingy. Right, anyway, so we're not doing a left mouse button. Right, so the first things first, on here we need to go to edit, we need plugin settings. Okay, not plugin settings, project settings. Go down to inputs, add a new input. Okay, and call this attack. Okay, just for now, doesn't have to be attack, but we're attacking the tree. Oh my god, we're attacking the tree to knock it down. And any key you want, but I'm going to use it as a left mouse key. Close this down, that will save, go into third person character, right click this and get attack. Okay, that will pull the attack function that we need to pull. Then pretty much what we need to do is copy this. Okay, so we need to copy this function here prior to the last plant tree. So if we control C, we control V. Okay, and we want to plug the press into the execution pin. Get rid of that for the moment because we don't need to reset that. Okay, and then what we're going to do, getting overlapping actors, the class filter will be changed once we create the selection for it to be changed, but at the moment you need to change this to master seed. Okay, so you get the master seed. Out of the actors, yeah, you do a for each loop. Check, does it implement the farming interface? If it does, then we want to do a branch. Okay, so out of here we want to pull and get destroy tree message and plug that to true. Okay, so this function is going to pull true, and then the player is going to be set to self. Okay, so it's exactly the same as what we're doing here to plant the tree, but we're also doing a break for the tree because we want to do it more than once. We're just checking to see if it has an implement and if it's overlapping. Okay, so yeah, if we're getting an overlapping actor, so if our player is overlapping the master seed actor, then does it implement the interface? If it does, then destroy tree. Okay, so this destroy tree needs to sit on the master seed. Okay, so if you go to master seed and you go to interfaces and you go to default and it's got it here, so you want to open this up. Well, we're going to need some room, so let's push that right over. Oh, not that much. Come on, there we go. Just leave that like that for the moment. Right. So destroy a tree. The first thing we want to do is get a variable. So the first variable is going to be is fully grown. Okay, this is just literally a boolean, just to say true or false. Alright, so we're going to pull out of here, we're going to come down here and branch it. Okay, or a shortcut, hold B on your keyboard and left click and it gives you a branch. Shortcuts. Right. So out of the player, yeah, we need to get the capsule component. Okay, so we need to get the capsule component. That's one, and then we need to get the box collision as two. So the box collision on here is the box collision on here. No matter what the mesh is, it's going to have a box collision, blah, 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 blah. Back to the destroy tree, compile, save. Then what we want to do is pull out a box collision, yeah, and get is overlapping component box. Okay, so we can get rid of this box, post the box in the bottom, post the top into the target. Okay, again, now we've done the check to see if it's overlapping again, and we're going to hit the branch. Okay, so if fully grown is true, then we want to hit this branch. If it's false, then we want to do something else. So I'm just going to put a print string here, yeah, and call this widget. Okay, because that's where we're going to put the widget if it's false. So if it isn't fully grown, then we're gonna create a widget. Okay, so off the branch, we wanna get the static mesh, which is here. Pull off this static mesh and set static mesh. Oh, not that one. Set static mesh and hit that to true. Okay, now we actually do have a static mesh, which is a tree. So I'm going to pull them in now. So we're going to go into here, we're going to go into farm, and we're going to go into meshes, right click, new folder, tree, stump. Okay, and just quickly let me get them, just move that out of the way. Thank you very much. Hello, thank you. Right, where are they? Right, they're in downloads. There we go. So we've got the FBX, which we're going to import, and we've got the textures, which we're going to import, and I'm going to quickly show you how to do that. Right, so if you click on the cube map, so right click this, rename and call it stump underscore map, just so it keeps it all together. Hello. Right, good, thank you very much. And then right click this and rename this and call this stump tree underscore stump. Okay, open up this stump, get rid of that. Right, let's just make this a little bit smaller, because what we need to do is copy all these and no, copy all these and put them on the graph there. Right, so these are all gonna be plugged somewhere in here, right? So to tell what the actual texture is, you can call it N map, which is normal map, so that goes straight into the normal. Okay, this one is color, so this one goes straight into the base color. This one is gloss, so this goes into the roughness, because that's the gloss. And this one is spectacular color, which obviously goes into the spectacular, which gives you a nice material to work with. Okay, so what we need to do, so yeah, we can get rid of that. So if we go back onto master seed, and we can change this now to stump, 3 stump mesh, there we go. And we want to change all the relative information. Now this looks insane, and it should do, because we need to change the relative to formation into, we need to change the relative formation of the trees before we change where this static mesh is going to spawn. So if we compile this and save this and go to the event graph, okay, so on component begin overlap, now we will need another variable for this, so we're going to open up variable and we're going to get cut down question mark. Okay, so if this is cut down, it's going to let us know that it's cut down. And what we're going to want to do is obviously get it, hold B branch. I feel like you should know that thingy. So cut down. If it isn't cut down, then we're going to run false. Okay, so that's what we want to check first, and then we're going to set timer. Okay, I've got to use a reference to this, otherwise we will be here all day of me trying to figure it out again. So on the first growth stage, okay, I'm going to show you. If we press play and we plant a tree, hang on a minute, let's just add a box collision so we can see what the bloody hell we're doing. Just for now, that's why it says add box collision, Adam. Yeah. You gonna work today, or are you just gonna sit there and moan about it? No, I just no. Oh my god, it's lagged. Hang on a minute. Right, so that's better. I had to shut down the whole software and reopen it again. Right, so this box here, yeah, so where it was, needs to be unhidden in game. Now, what I was going to show you was that when we place this tree down, if you look at, we're gonna lift that box up, but if you look at the box, when the tree spawns, it moves out of the box. Why ain't the tree spawn? Ah, okay. Hang on a moment. Why aren't you working? Oh, because we've got to set this interface. What was it? Planting, I think. Oh, it's because we don't actually have the interface. So let me just quickly create that blueprint again, because obviously it didn't save when we've done it. So planting interface. Don't want the space. Don't have to have the space. Thank you. Save. Go back to farming. Open up the ground as well, because that's going to want to be added. So you don't need to do this again. You've already done this in a little while ago in this episode. It's just where my computer crashed. That's master seed. Yeah, where my computer crashed. I've got to do it. So planting. That's why it ain't working. So here's going to be planting interface, compile, save, compile, save. Okay, so now it should work. Oh, before we do that, let's just move this box up. So let's just move this box up and just make it a little bit wider so you can see what we're doing. Right, okay. That should do it. Compile, save, play. Right, so now when I place the tree, you can see the box. But as the tree grows, it wants to move it out of the box. So what we need to do is, because the mesh is moving, you see, it's moved out of the box. And it's, yeah. So now it's out of the box. So you only be able to do something when it's out of the box. So what we need to do, we actually need to move it. Now, if you're working on the same, if you're building this with me, you can use these variables, and yeah, you'll see what I mean in a minute. You can use these measurements of where they go, but if you're not, then you will have to sit there and figure out how far. And I will show you a quick tutorial on how to do that, and we're going to have to leave this one here because we are coming over 30 minutes. So the first growth stage, yeah, we need to get the static mesh, and we need to get the relative location. Okay, so zoom this in, let's move this over. Then we need to split these pins, okay, so we can change where the mesh is going to spawn. Out of the X, for me, I just want to add 20 units to push it back in the box, okay. And then out of the static mesh, we need to set the relative location again, okay. We need to set the relative location now, and we want to split these pins, and we want to pop that into X. Y stays the same, and Z stays the same, and then obviously connect that up to that. In the next one, we now need to move this over again because it's getting further and further away. So out of the static mesh again, we just move over to the next one, pull the static mesh in, out of the static mesh, relative location, split pins, and on the X I want to add, I will show you how I've worked this out. I want to add 80, and on the Z, no, not the Z, the Y, I want to add 20. Okay, I want to add 20 units to that. Okay, and the Z is exactly the same. Again, now we want to, out of the static mesh, we want to set the relative. So what we're doing, potentially, set relative location. So what we're doing is moving that mesh on where it's spawning. So when it spawns this mesh, it's moving it into the box. This is what we need to do. And then obviously Z can stay the same. Compile, save. So if I play this now and I plant a sapling, once that goes into the second stage, you can see it's more central into the box. Yeah, that's what we want. And for some reason this one's gone a bit wrong. I think you need to actually save it and close it down. So compile, save, close it down, then open up the master seed. Oh no, because I didn't connect it to the set timer. Okay, so let me just quickly check that. So this is the second growth stage. This is the second growth stage. We're getting the relative. That's where we're getting a relative transform there. Do we really need to get the relative transform? No. We should be getting the relative location. The X is plus 80. Oh, sorry. The X is plus 80 and this is minus 20. Okay, so minus, subtract. $20 from that and plug that into the Y. Okay, so let's see if that changed it. So the first one's staying rarely in the box, and this one isn't. So what I need to do now is, if I go to viewport and I click on this and I go to static mesh and I go to, this is how you would get it, I go to second stage. you can see where it spawns. Okay, so where it spawns on the, we need to come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we need to come in 800 on the X, which we're adding already. Okay, so take that back 800, change it back to sapling. Okay, click compile, save, go to the event graph, and we're already adding it as 80, so I don't understand why that hasn't moved. So let me just clear that, press compile, save, let's just plop that into there, let's just see what happens. Bug fixing, but that's how you would set the transform. So the first one is going to sit in the box, the second one I don't know where it's going to go. There you go. Okay, so the second one is now sitting in the box, so maybe we didn't need to add, and the third one is also sitting in the box. Okay, so maybe we didn't need to add this, we could probably just add 10 to this. Like I said, it's trial and error, you have to... Because obviously you want it sitting in the box, but if you connect the collision box to the mesh, it still does the wrong thing. So as you can tell, now the second one is in the box, but the third one is slightly out of the box. Okay, so we need to bring so the second one is in the box. Let me just double check that again. Add a couple, so if we miss it, we can see it. So the first stage is good, which moved the first stage. Why is it doing that? Shouldn't do that. The second stage now needs to come in a tiny bit, and then the first stage. Okay, so let's add 30 to that. I don't know why this is doing that on the first growth stage. It shouldn't be spawning it then changing it. It should be changing the mesh and then setting the relative mesh. You shouldn't be doing it after a timer loop. So this is the first growth stage. So yeah, so hang on a minute. So this is the first growth stage, so we're gonna... Right, let me bring you back. Let me have a little workaround and I will bring you right back. So yeah, as you can tell now, if I press play and I plant a tree, okay, what if we watch this tree? Yeah, the stage don't seem to change, and then obviously now the tree's still in the collision box, and the tree's still in the collision box. Okay, so they're all in the collision boxes, so when they need to be chopped down, they can be chopped down. You can make the collision box bigger, smaller, whatever way you want, but yeah, they are still in the collision box. And how I did it was obviously on the master seed event graph, first growth stage, static mesh, again, get the relative location and add 20, set it by timer. Second growth stage, we want to now get the static mesh and we want to get relative transform, and we want to add 80 and minus 20. Okay, so you've got the first, second, and where's the third? Did I not take the third? No, I did not take the third. Okay, so let me just quickly... You will have this, Control C, Control V, even though it worked for some reason, I don't understand. And this set relative location, we need to grab this as well, Control C, Control V, set the timer, bring that to the event, click continue, and this one here is going static mesh, relative transform, add 20, minus 10, boom boom boom, done. Okay, so this is this section done. We are literally 35 minutes into the episode, so I'm going to leave this here and I'm going to carry on from this tutorial in the next video. You should get this one out in the next 2 days. Tomorrow I need to go on to the multiplayer game that we're building. That needs to be needs a couple of videos updated as well. But I hope this helped. It may have caused a couple of issues within your game. If it did, please comment, let me know, and we can go from there. And I can try and help you out as much as possible. But thank you for watching. Please like, sub and subscribe. Hit the bell icon too, so when I do post another video, you will get a notification from it. But like I said, I'm really happy with the way the channel's growing, and I'm hoping to bring out a little bit more better content for you. Like I said in my previous post, I bought a new mic, so hopefully the static sound is gone, and I hope this is a better video. But on that bombshell, thank you so much for watching. This is Bulldog Games. Bye.